Did you know that by the age of 2, a child has already heard about 20,000 words? That's a staggering amount. But not all of those words are positive or helpful. Research shows that the words we use with our toddlers can shape their emotional and mental development. In fact, studies indicate that negative phrases can lead to increased anxiety and lower self-esteem as they grow. As parents, we want the best for our children, but sometimes we don't realize the impact of our words. What we say in moments of frustration or stress can stick with them for life. This is why it's crucial to be mindful of our language. In this video, we'll explore 6 things you should never say to your toddler and offer better phrases that promote healthy emotional growth. From encouraging empathy to fostering a growth mindset, these strategies will help you connect better with your little one. Join us to learn how to transform your conversations and raise confident, emotionally intelligent kids. Chapter 1. You're fine, versus nurturing empathy. We've all been there. Your toddler falls or gets frustrated, and without thinking, you say, "You're fine." You might think it's comforting, but here's the problem: it dismisses their feelings. When you tell a toddler they're fine, you're sending a message that their emotions don't matter. But according to research from Harvard University, early childhood is a critical period for emotional development. Kids learn how to process feelings by watching how we respond. Instead of brushing off their feelings, say, "I see you're upset, let's talk about it." This simple shift shows that you recognize their emotions and that it's okay to feel. Validating their experience helps build emotional intelligence, something they'll carry with them for life. It's worth noting that children who grow up in environments where emotions are acknowledged are more likely to develop empathy and better social skills. Studies show that toddlers who are taught to identify and express their feelings tend to have stronger relationships as adults. Empathy is one of the best gifts you can give your child. When they feel seen and heard, they learn to see and hear others, too. Chapter 2. Hurry up, versus encouraging patience. We live in a fast-paced world, and it's easy to rush your toddler along. "Hurry up" is a phrase we blurt out when we're late or stressed. But for toddlers, who are still learning about the world, everything is new and fascinating. Rushing them doesn't just stress them out, it teaches them that their pace doesn't matter. Instead, try saying, "Take your time, let's do this together." This approach encourages patience and collaboration. Research from Stanford University shows that children who are allowed to take their time tend to develop better problem-solving skills and higher levels of creativity. Patience isn't something kids are born with, it's something they learn. And if you model patience, they're more likely to pick it up. Plus, slowing down can be good for you, too. It's a chance to see the world through their eyes and be present in the moment. When toddlers feel rushed, they may also feel anxious, which can lead to tantrums. But when they feel supported, they're more likely to cooperate. Remember, what feels like a long time to us is just normal for them. Chapter 3. Because I said so, versus inspiring understanding. "Because I said so" is a classic parent phrase, but it doesn't do much to foster a child's sense of curiosity or reasoning skills. In fact, research shows that children who are given explanations for rules are more likely to comply and understand the reasoning behind them. Instead of shutting down their questions with, "Because I said so," try saying, "Let me explain why we need to do this." This not only encourages a healthy dialogue but also promotes critical thinking. A study from the Journal of Developmental Psychology found that children who are encouraged to ask, "Why?" are more likely to engage in higher-level thinking later in life. Kids are naturally curious, and explaining your reasoning helps them understand how the world works. It can also prevent future power struggles. When children feel that their concerns are addressed, they're less likely to resist following the rules. A quote from How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk sums it up perfectly. Children are more willing to cooperate when they feel understood. Giving explanations doesn't mean you're negotiating with your toddler. It means you're teaching them to respect rules through understanding, not fear or blind obedience. By fostering an environment of mutual respect, you're also encouraging lifelong habits of learning and cooperation. It's a win-win for both you and your toddler. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more parenting insights and strategies. Chapter 4. Stop crying versus emotional validation. One of the hardest parts of parenting is handling a crying toddler. It's tempting to say, "Stop crying," when things get overwhelming. But here's the truth: telling them to stop doesn't actually stop the crying, it teaches them to hide their feelings. When you say, "Stop crying," you're telling your child that their emotions are inconvenient. According to research from Yale's Child Study Center, children who are encouraged to express their emotions are less likely to develop anxiety or depression later in life. Instead, try saying, "It's okay to cry, I'm here with you." This simple statement acknowledges that crying is a natural response to frustration or sadness. It also helps them understand that it's okay to feel emotional, as long as they have the support to work through it. A great book on this topic is The Whole Brain Child by Daniel Siegel and Tina Payne Bryson. They explain how validating your child's emotions actually helps them regulate those feelings better. It's a long-term investment in their emotional health. When you allow your child to express themselves without judgment, you're helping them develop resilience. Over time, they'll learn to process emotions more effectively and bounce back from challenges. Chapter 5. You're so smart versus growth mindset. Praising your toddler for being smart sounds positive, right? But according to research from Dr. Carol Dweck, the psychologist behind the growth mindset concept, labeling a child as smart can actually limit their potential. It sets the expectation that intelligence is fixed, and they might avoid challenges to protect that label. Instead of saying, "You're so smart, try, you worked so hard on this." This shifts the focus from a fixed trait, like intelligence, to effort and perseverance. Toddlers who are praised for their effort are more likely to take on new challenges, even when things get hard. Dr. Dweck's research at Stanford University shows that kids praised for their effort tend to develop a growth mindset. They believe they can get better at something through practice. This is critical for their future success because it teaches them that failure is just part of learning, not a reflection of their ability. It's easy to fall into the habit of saying, "You're so smart," but shifting your praise to focus on effort can have lifelong benefits. You're helping your toddler build a mindset that will serve them well into adulthood, where resilience is key. Chapter 6. Big boys, girls don't do that versus positive identity. When toddlers act in ways we don't expect, it's common to hear phrases like, "Big boys don't cry," or "Big girls don't do that." While this might seem like a harmless way to guide behavior, it can actually create confusion around identity and shame them for natural behaviors. Gendered statements like these can reinforce stereotypes that limit how a child expresses themselves. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that children who are pressured into rigid gender roles often struggle with self-esteem and emotional regulation later in life. Instead of saying, "Big boys, girls don't do that," try, "It's okay to feel this way, let's figure it out together." This approach encourages your child to embrace their emotions without feeling boxed into societal expectations based on gender. Allowing toddlers to express themselves freely, regardless of whether their behavior aligns with traditional gender norms, is essential for their healthy development. It helps them develop a stronger, more flexible sense of self. Psychologist Dr. Alan Shore says that early experiences with emotional expression deeply affect how children perceive themselves and others. Encouraging emotional openness, rather than using phrases that restrict, will help your child grow into a more compassionate and self-assured person. If you enjoyed these insights and strategies, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips on parenting and child development.